Profiles in Black Miami has been chronicling the life and legacy of Alexander C. Lightbourne, a Bahamian-born immigrant who arrived in New York in 1866. From New York, Lightbourne migrated to North Florida, where he became a teacher for the Freedmen's Bureau, educating newly emancipated citizens of the United States from that region. Lightbourne became the Sergeant of Arms in the Florida Legislature during Reconstruction after the American Civil War. He was Justice of the Peace, appointed in Gadsden County by Governor Harrison T. Reed in 1871. It was in the town of Quincy in Gadsden County, Florida, where he met and married Mary Zeigler. Mary was born into slavery on the Zeigler plantation in the town of Quincy in 1856. It was in 1872 when Alexander C. Lightbourne, a teacher in the Freedmen's Bureau, a sergeant of arms in the post-Civil War Florida legislature, and a justice of the peace in Gadsden County, Florida, married Mary Zeigler, a formerly enslaved American citizen. In the 1890s, they moved to South Florida. Alexander C. Lightbourne would become one of the most influential African Americans needed to sign the charter to incorporate the then Fort Dallas settlement into the city of Miami. Historically, women and their contributions to groundbreaking events were excluded in the documentations of the successful accomplishments that they were a part of. Women like Julia Tuttle, the founder of the city of Miami, she donated the land that would be the cornerstone the city of Miami was built upon. Women like Charlotte Jane Stirrup, who worked shoulder to shoulder with her husband E.W.F. Stirrup and established a real estate dynasty in Coconut Grove. Women like Mary Zeigler, who with her husband Alexander C. Lightbourne came to Miami and were very involved in the civic growth of the historic community of Overtown. Mary, along with her husband, Alexander C. Lightbourne, were founders of Bethel AME Church, which still provides spiritual comfort in Overtown today. The first services were held in their home. Profiles in Black Miami first introduced Allison Lightbourne, the great-great-granddaughter of Alexander C. Lightbourne. She, as a descendant of Alexander C. Lightbourne, was in attendance when the city of Miami made a proclamation acknowledging her great-great-grandfather's contributions in the early days of Miami. Allison Lightbourne worshipped and joined Bethel AME Church during its 125th celebration in providing spiritual guidance in Overtown.
My name is Allison Lightbourne Jones. My great-great-grandfather is Alexander C. Lightbourne. I did not know this when I moved from Harlem, New York to Miami in 2015. I was driving around feeling drawn to the city, but did not understand why. In October 2019, My daughter sent me a text and said a woman was trying to reach me about my grandfather on my mother's side and to call her right away. She told me about A.C. Lightbourne and his important contributions to the city of Miami. At first I was shocked, but then it started to make sense to me. This feeling, this spirit that I could not explain, why I was so drawn to Miami. My roots are here, my people were here.
Profiles in Black Miami. Executive producer and historic researcher, Anne Marie Henry. Discovered the descendants of Mary Zeigler, Lightbourne, a family that is well established in Miami-Dade County. The family came together for the first time in the Alexander C. Lightbourne building on the Bethel AME Church campus to learn of their family's historic beginnings and contributions in the early days of Miami-Dade County. Joining the descendants of Mary Zeigler Lightbourne was historian and civic activist Dr. Enid Pickney.
So, quick story, we met through a work training, what, about a month ago?
No.
Then I recognized him when he pulled up. I met you before somewhere.
Are you serious?
And you know,
You see, that's why it's good to know your family.
it's crazy.
I am a living witness.
She has a story that's crazy. Thank you, Zeiglers, for coming today. Why are we here at Bethel AME Church? We're here at Bethel AME Church because this is a church founded by Mary Zeigler and Alex C. Lightbourne. Yes.
Wow.
This was founded in March 1896 here in the city of Miami. So this church is older than even the city of Miami.
Wow.
So this is why you're here. This is your legacy. This is your great-grand-aunt's legacy. On the last sheet of the printout that I gave you, I want to show you that your common ancestors are, for Allison, who couldn't be here today, and for you, is Nathaniel Zeigler and Margaret McFarland. Nathaniel Zeigler was an enslaver. Margaret was an enslaved person. So we're going all the way back to 1807 when Nathaniel Zeigler was born in South Carolina, and Margaret was probably born in South Carolina as well. She was born in around 1818. So the first page is a picture of Nathaniel Zeigler when he was younger, and the second page is a picture of him older. In 1838, your great-grandfather, Robert Zeigler, was born in Quincy at the Zeigler plantation. And in 1854, one of the younger children for Margaret McFarland and Nathaniel Zeigler, Mary Zeigler, was born at that time. There's an age difference about 18 years. So on the 1860 schedule for enslaved persons, which is the fourth page that you have, on line number 16, and when you look at that, you see there's a 42-year-old female that's black. I believe that to be Margaret McFarland. So she would have been 42 in 1860. On the 23rd line of the slave registry, there is a 22-year-old male who's mulatto, and I believe that to be Robert, your great-grandfather. And on this next column, well, there are two 4-year-old females that are black, but I believe one of those to be Mary Zeigler. On page 5, we have the record of Robert and Chelsea, which is your great grandmother, getting married. They got married on July 22nd, 1866, and that would be the second entry on this page. So, Robert Zeigler and Chelsea Stevens getting married in 1866. On the 6th page, on the 1870 census, the first census after emancipation, we see Robert living with his wife Chelsea and their children, Robert Jr. You may recognize some of these names because they tend to use the same names over and over again. So Robert and Chelsea on this 1870 census has children, Robert Jr., Thomas S., Mary, and that's a Mary B, which is a child, Rosalie, and the sister Mary Zeigler being the wife of A.C. Lightbourne. And
where are you?
they're right here. So on the 1885 census, the way that I ascertained that Margaret McFarland is the mother of Robert Zeigler was that he's actually listed on the census with some additional children.
We'll ask questions later.
Yes, absolutely.
Not now. Okay.
Yes. So on the 1885 census, this is how I know that she's your ancestor, because she's listed as a mother. But let's go to page 7, and this is the 1880 census where we first see Margaret McFarland, and she's married to Jacob McFarland. It says here that she was born in 1818. Jacob, her husband, was born in 1815. It says Margaret is from South Carolina. Jacob, the husband, is from Georgia. So this is the first time that I see her. I don't know where Jacob was in 1870. I tried finding him, but maybe he was out of the state, or maybe they hadn't found each other. Because what happens after emancipation is that families are split apart, and they're finding their way. Some people never find their way back to their family, but some people did find their way back to their family. Maybe that was the case for Jacob and Margaret. We don't know, but I couldn't find him in 1870.
I'm the oldest. I'm 85 years
You
old.
look like the youngest one. Sorry.
I'm 70. Hey.
You're a baby girl.
You're a baby.
I'm 8 years older than you.
How many?
I'm 80. I'll be 81 in January.
Wow. And I'll be 80 in July.
That's right.
I know our dad was really busy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm older than you. Yeah.